You know the biggest downside to never being consistent on your YouTube channel? You can never really get the intro right. It's always awkward. 3 years down, and it's still awkward. This is what I get for posting once every 9 months. Anyways, roll that intro. Hi, my name is Grace, and welcome back to my space. I'm back, maybe for real this time. I'm not gonna make any promises. How about that? I'm not gonna make any promises. But what I can promise you is that I will edit and upload this video. I swear on my life, you guys, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be consistent in this moment here. And well, if I'm not, you'll never know because you won't see it. Anywho, today I'm here to get ready with me and ask questions. Answer questions, not ask them. I have no questions to ask. I'm here to answer questions because some of you may know. I haven't uploaded on this channel since all this stuff happened. So like, hey, I'm on Gossip Girl. Woo, woo. This little square poster right here is the reason I have not been consistent in 12 months, because you try maintaining a YouTube channel and your mental health while also starring on TV. It's not so easy now, is it? Anyways, I'm here to get into the questions. I tweeted so long ago. Don't be my ass. I did tweet so long ago being like, oh, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask me and I'll do an AMA Get Ready With Me. And then I filmed it, got the will to edit a month later, and there was no audio. And so naturally, I had to wait another month for the will to refilm, to come back. And here we are. So officially, here is my Ask Me Anything as I do my makeup. I don't really have anything planned. I think I'm gonna go get my toes done because it's been 3 months. And that's it. But that's never stopped me from doing a full beat down before. And it's not gonna stop me now. Before I even start asking the questions, let's figure out what palette I'm gonna use. I'm in this era where I'm trying to only use one eyeshadow palette at a time. I'm really trying to commit to it. I got this ColourPop palette so long ago. But do I want to do rainbow today? Like, because if I use this palette, I have to be committed to the rainbow bit because it's only one. I don't think that's today. That's not today. Maybe tomorrow, but it's not today. I need a brown. I know what eyeshadow palette I'm going to use. 𝒂𝒂𝒅𝒄 Juvia's Place. I have not used this palette in so long. But I feel like this has colors. This has like rainbow, but it also has like a brown, so I can neutralize it if I decide halfway through what I'm doing I don't like. If I ever look not at you, it's because there's all types of mirrors here and I need to use them to do this eyeshadow because unfortunately my camera lens is not a mirror. But don't get offended. I see you. We see each other. Okay, starting right off with the first question from 𝒕𝒉𝒂𝒕𝒕𝒚, my girl Taylor. I gotta say, some of y'all really been riding with me since honestly before it was publicly announced. Y'all saw Shannon 2 episodes in season 1 and you said that's my girl. And I want you to know I see you. You know, general disclaimer here, I am not very good at responding to any messages because I'm a high anxiety girly. I get nervous, like I just can't. But I just want everybody to know I do read all the lovely comments. I am so grateful to you all. Like, if I could hug everybody in one ginormous circle of love, I would. So if you've ever said anything nice to me and I haven't responded, just know that I did see it and I am very grateful. I'm just a little baby. I just get a little shy. Okay, anyways, that was a quick tangent. Back to Taylor. So I just canceled out all the darkness around my eyes using this Juvia's Place Shade 3 Eye Prep Eye Primer. And let's just get into the questions. So first up, advice for yourself 3 years ago. 1, you are enough. 2, your skin tone does not define you. 3, you are worthy of love. And 4, don't even tell people your goals so that you can have their opinion. Just go for them. Just go for them. Go for what you want. Go for what you want. And tell people once you have it. The moment I stopped asking people if I could do something and I just did it and then I would tell them, I really brought a lot of peace into my life. What's been most challenging about navigating any set as a Black woman and how do you conquer them? Oh, this is a very good question. I definitely think the most challenging thing about navigating navigating hair and the struggles with hair are a big factor. I think going in, my biggest advice for any Black woman going into any set, request a one-on-one with the hair team. Have your team request it, however it is, but you need to have a heart-to-heart and not know, like, what's your favorite products, like a real heart-to-heart with these people before you go into any set. Protect your hair, protect your crown. I think another big challenge is like the fear of being perceived incorrectly. So I think a lot of Black women in life are perceived as more aggressive and all these things. And set and at work, those feelings don't necessarily go away when you get on set, and those fears don't go away when you get on set. So I think that was a really tough thing for me to navigate. And I would say, like, how I did it, like, just know that perception isn't reality. And as long as you know yourself and you know, like, your heart and you know your intentions, that's reality. That's the biggest thing that matters. And I know we've all had those feelings, especially for Black women. I know, that feeling where you kind of have to, like, code switch a little bit. I don't necessarily think that goes away, but I do think that, like, in terms of navigating this industry, like, even in those moments where you feel like you may have to code switch or anything, like, do stay true to who you are at the core of it. But I definitely think that there are several difficult things about navigating a set as a Black woman, and I think they always get harder if you do not stay true to yourself and, like, stay true to your values. I don't know if that was a good answer, but, we gotta keep it cute. Oh, and a big thing in how I conquer bad days, I always have the thing where it's like I leave my stuff at the door, right? So when I leave my house, no matter what I'm going through, I leave it at the door at my house. And then I go to work and I give work whatever their dues. When I come home, I pick it up. A lot of times people say, like, leave your mess at the door. You need to pick it up. You need to pick it up. And the reason I say that is because there's this idea that Black women, we always have to be strong. And, like, maybe in that moment I will present strength, but I'm picking it up when I get home. If you are going to be if you are going to prioritize being honest and your authentic self with anybody, it needs to be you. Like, when you are by yourself, you are all that you have. So if you didn't have a good day at work or you didn't have a good day at home and you don't want to risk not being an absolute professional, that's fine. But when you come home, pick up your emotions again and process them. Because if you don't process your emotions, they will then reflect in another way. And that's never good. Favorite place is a thrift store. I love a thrift store. I love. I love discount. I'm somebody who will, like, hold on clothes for, like, so long. And so I kind of love the idea that somebody held on to this outfit for so long and now they're like, hey, it's your turn with it. Like, I love a thrift store. I love a good bargain. Like, you can take the girl out of Virginia, but you can't take the Virginia out of the girl. Trust and believe. I'm always going to go for the discount first and foremost. Nail racks, always got my press-ons on. Always got my press-ons. Pink Moya on Amazon. Love is it Pink Moya or Pink Zoya? Pink something. Pink something. It's one of them press-ons. Where I live for that press-on right now. Like, and I just love press-ons in general because you can get a bunch of press-ons. I was the reason why Shan wears press-ons on the show, because they asked me, like, what my nails look like. And I was like, oh, they're already in these press-ons. And they're like, oh, that's kind of literally perfect for the aesthetic of this character. So I sent them the company, and then, for the show, we either get them from Amazon or this place called thenaillist.co. Jackie Aina, Queen, recommended it she would talk about them years ago. And that's how I heard about the Nail List. And yeah, it's just like, rather than getting a $70 set that's gonna last 2 weeks, I pay $10. It honestly lasts me 2 weeks anyways. And then I get the glam and I get to keep my coin. Most fun scene to film, anything with Whitney Peak, which is all my scenes. But I think episode 4, episode 4, when Jens, who plays Terrell, guest starred. When we filmed that episode before we actually filmed episodes 1 and 2. So episode 4 is when we actually met. And like, I swear, like, he came on set and it was like, okay, I've known you forever. And him, Whitney, and I had a ball that day. The irony that like we were filming like such a dramatic moment in our friendship. But even that scene, like the fight scene, you guys, that was so funny because like we were going like in, like they call action, and we were screaming at each other. At one point, Josh and then Sophia, the director, they were like, y'all still are friends. Like we were just going in, like just like cutting each other up. But after every single take where we would like do these like crazy screaming matches or whatever the hell, they call cut, and I'd be like, girl, you ate me up. And she's like, no, that's all you. And I'm like, no, that was all you, because the way, no, I really thought you were mad. And she was like, really? Yeah, I was like, no, girl, like I really felt the betrayal, like, and like it would, and everybody, like the extras, everybody would be watching us like, how the hell? I mean, me and Whitney had a lot of really fun days on set, but that was especially funny because obviously we're really used to our dynamic at this point. But it is always funny when like you can literally see the extras being like, oh, like y'all are friends. It's like, yeah, no, that's like my girl. Favorite episode 2, I think it's episode 8 for me. Episode 8 or maybe episode 4, because I do love how episode 4, everything kind of converges on itself. But I mean, I'm team like, let's spend as much time with Luna as possible. Like the whole plot line with her mom and like, just like, yeah, episode 4, I think episode 8, I think is really great. Really well done. Episode 4, it just feels like there was so much of a build-up to everybody's tea coming out at this Valentine's Day party, and that was a lot of fun. And then I really liked episode 2. And 1, you know, I'm a little biased. You got to meet my mama and daddy and my little brother. But also, like, I love Max's parents, and that dynamic between them, like seeing them kind of re-find the love with each other was just really chef's kisses. I really like episode 2, 4, and 8. 2, 4, 8. Those are my favorites. My experience in the acting world. That's the thing. This is my experience in the acting world. Professionally. Let me actually rephrase that. This was my first professional booking post-grad, right? So that was like already like such a monumental thing. But it wasn't like I went to acting school in New York City for 4 years. I went to a 4-year conservatory training program. So it wasn't necessarily like I never done anything, right? Like when I first got on set for Gossip Girl, and because I'd worked production and stuff, when I first got on set for Gossip Girl, I honestly didn't even feel any sort of nerves or anything like that, just because I was like, I know what y'all need from me. I know what I need for myself. Like, I know, let's get it popping, right? This is my first professional gig, but I feel like I've been around sets for a while, because every set we were on in school, every set, like, you know, short film we did, every set I PA'd on, every experience I had, it kind of erased the nerves of feeling like the new girl. I definitely did feel like the new girl because, you know, I was, and there were definitely like fish out of water moments, but not nearly as much considering like this truly is my first paid acting experience. So, you know, starting off swinging, truly, like, talk about it. Okay, next up, career goals. I think the biggest career goal I have for myself right now is just success. I think you can be famous for any reason, but like true success comes with respect, right? Like people respect what you do, they respect your craft, they respect your art, your talent, all that stuff. The respect of my peers, the respect of my peers is so important to me. And I think it is half the reason I do what I do, because I hope to one day be a force people can look up to, but also be a career force that can open doors for other people. Like I want to be a showrunner of my own show one day. I want to direct. I love to write. I want to produce. I love to act. Like, I don't want to limit myself at any point in my career. And I think that's the biggest career goal I have. Just making sure I feel unlimited in what I do and where I go. Eyes are done. It low-key looks like the God of Flag. That was not my intention, but I was limited because I had to deepen my crease with red because I'm using only one eyeshadow palette. See how I played myself? Anyways, coming in, let's pop on some lashes and let's keep the questions going. Okay, so we're back with the lashes on, ready to go. Here is my current foundation obsession. This new NARS like light reflecting foundation in Namibia. Almost, but not quite. Look how beat. This is how you know, like, you know when people are like, this is my favorite product, whatever. If it don't look like this, you can't even see that it says Dior. Ran through. This is normally my favorite foundation, the Dior 24-hour backstage, but there's barely anything in here, and we must save her for very good use. So my new obsession in the meantime is this NARS light reflecting that I like picked up on one day on a big old splurge. I love the look. I love the coverage. I love how light it is on the skin. And yeah, somebody asked, what is it like to work on set with Whitney Peak? I feel like because I only ever say her name as like I only really ever say her full name as like a troll right now, a troll. So it's like, it's funny, the idea. It's like, what's it like to work on set with Whitney Peak when it's like, that's just wit. That's just wit. It's like, what is it like to go on set with family, right? Like, here I have somebody who is supposed to be my best friend in TV, who over the past year and a half, actually, because me and Whitney met in July 2021, because that's when I first got the part. But like, over this year and a half, it's like family. Like, there's nothing she doesn't know and there's nothing I don't know. So really going to work and being on set and all that kind of stuff really felt no different than hanging out with your friends, except that like every now and then, you know, they call action or cut. Like, there would be times when we'd be rehearsing our scenes and people couldn't tell that it was a scene until they like really started paying attention to the words, because it just sounded like how we always sound like when we're talking. Yeah, that's my sis. A blessing. That's what it's like to work on set with Whitney Peak. A blessing. She's so talented. She's so kind. Literally a ray of light in everything that she does and everything that she is. I'm very grateful to know and to love and be loved by her. So yeah, that's the answer to that. Dream Broadway role if age, gender, race didn't matter. That's hard. Like, you know what it is? A curious case of the dog at the nighttime, right? Did I say that right? The curious incident, yes. The curious incident of the dog in the nighttime, yes. That's my dream role. To play Christopher Boone. I love that play, and I think it is so well done. So if age, gender, race, etc., if nothing mattered, maybe that. And then the other one would probably be Merrily We Roll Along, Gussie. Yeah. Or Merrily We Roll Along, Frank. I would love to be Frank and Merrily We Roll Along. Kind of in the same vein, dream role. My dream role is to be Storm in X-Men. I love X-Men, and I love Storm. Like, I fully grew up on that role and that character. It would be my absolute dream to play her. Also, Dina in Dreamgirls. Love that. Cosette in Les Mis. Elphaba. You know, I could low-key go all day. Hermione Granger in The Cursed Child. Since those are the ones I can think off rip, those are the ones we're gonna stick with. But just know that I'm often dreaming, many a dreams, about Broadway roles. Anything August Wilson, anything Lynn Nottage. Honestly, truthfully, my dream role would be to star in a Lynn Nottage production. any of the characters in African Mean Girls, the play. Like, honestly, now at this point, I'm just like naming some of my favorite theater. In terms of film and TV, would love to play Storm. But in terms of like Broadway and like plays, like, listen, the list goes endless. But yeah, also I think I would just like, a dream role would be to anything A24. Like, I love the indie world and I love what they're doing with film and storytelling. And I think it's really important. So I would love to bring some of the representation I provide into some of those spaces. My come up was honestly the show. So like, okay, so here's how I book Gossip Girl. I feel like many people wonder because it's like I came out of nowhere, and that's fair. But I wasn't no one. I was somebody. I was someone's daughter. I was working as a full-time production assistant for The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Way too much concealer. Jesus Christ. We're just gonna let that sit because I added way too much of that, and so we're gonna let that sit. I was working full-time as a production assistant for The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. They had called me back because I'd worked there as an intern first, and then, you know, they were like, hey, we have a full-time spot. I was working marketing for BET, and nothing wrong with that. I just am not a marketing girl. I just needed to check. And so I said, production is more my forte anyways. I was there for like 6 months, and while I was there, actually the first day I started back up at The Late Show, I got an email from Rob DeSima, who's the head of CBS Studios casting. I'd met him while I was in acting school. He had come during the pandemic as like a, hey, meeting casting director. Also, you guys, I'm so sorry that you won't get a showcase because I was class of 2020. So there was a lot we didn't get. So he had said when I'd met him, he was like, I remember people, and he was not kidding. God bless you, Rob. But he sent me an audition, and I went far in that role, but I didn't get it. But in the process, he was like, you need an agent. You're doing really well. And so he called my current agency up and he said, you need to sign her. And they quite literally did. And then for the next 6 months, I was secretly, after you see, way too much consider. After like a long shift with The Late Show, 8, 9, 12 hours, whatever, I'd come home and for several more hours, my iconic roommate would do tapes on tapes on tapes with me. And Gossip Girl was one of them. It was interesting because like the first tape I did for Gossip Girl was under the impression that this was going to be a featured like one, 2 episode or like cool, like we might see a little bit of her, but whatever. And the audition itself was really small. Like really, 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 really small. So I got it and I was like, oh yeah, there's no way I'm booking this. Cool, let me go mind my business. Just because, not even that I thought it was gonna be bad, just because it was like so short that I was like, I think Gossip Girl was like audition number like 70, 80, something like that, like so high up. I'd done so many, and it was the 4th of July weekend. So I remember literally telling my roommate, I was like, girl, you know, I'm not about to get this. Let's just do this in one take and let's go. I feel like it's safe for me to say this now because I got it. But yeah, so that's what we did. I think we did in 2 takes and I sent it off and I didn't really think about it. And I went back to my life of doing auditions and being the best PA I could be. And then 2 weeks, a week later, something like that, I get a call. I was at The Late Show in front of John's room with 2 of my absolute fave interns at the time. And I was with them, we're chit-chatting, minding our business, and then I get this call from my agents and they're like, hey, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And they're like, so you remember that Gossip Girl tape? And I remember literally being like, maybe, like that's how much I was like, yeah, we're not getting this part. Because I literally remember being like, sorta, like I had fully moved on with my life. And my agent, he was like, yeah, he was like, they really like you, so they wanted you to do a callback. Now, my philosophy is you don't get excited till you book. Here's why. A callback isn't a check. End story. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a callback is like lovely, and definitely a callback for me, I find it's a boost of confidence, and it also helps me, you know, like when I'm like looking for places to improve. A callback is when you'll most likely actually hear feedback. So I really like it for that reason, but it's not It's not a check. And so I always get pumped and motivated when I get callbacks, but I'm not necessarily like, oh my God, like it's mine, because I'm not the only one getting a callback, right? So I told my interns and they were like, oh my God, that's crazy. And I was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, damn, my roommate's away, who's gonna read for me? And one of them, Feroz, he was like, I'll read for you. Shout out to you, my love. And so he, on Zoom that Friday, he got on and read the scene with me. And one of the things I noticed, and I was like, this is weird. One of the things I noticed was the audition was 8 times as long. And if you've seen Gossip Girl and you know anything about Shan, my new audition scene was the scene I walked into with, like the scene that you first meet their character with. And I said, this is theatrical. Like, this is like 3, 4, 5 pages. Like, where did all this come from? So we did the tape, and the following week I get a call from my agent again being like, great job, they really like it. But casting wants to talk to you directly to give you direct notes. I was like, that's new, whoa. And also they were like, and right before I hung up, he just goes, also, by the way, if you get this, it's now a series regular. Okay, bye. I said, it's now a who, what, when, where, and why? It's a who regular? I could not believe. I was like, what do you mean that if I get this part, it's now a series regular? What is that even? How do I even process that? And he quite literally didn't let me. He literally hung up and went about his life. And then 5 seconds later, I got this call from, like, I was on the phone with this casting director, and she's like, Cassandra, the nicest lady of all time, she's like, I love you, like, you're so great, here are the notes. And I'm just thinking, like, I really hope you are not saying this to everyone, because I'll feel cheated on. Like, you are so nice to me, like, please tell me, like, this is my part. At that time, it wasn't. Supposedly, they said it always was mine, but I was like, I didn't get that indication when I was doing it. Anyways, so I did it 2 more times, and I was just texting them to her directly, and honestly, just having, like, really motivating conversations with her. Cassandra's one of the nicest people of all time. And I call my agents, and I'm like, yo, I think this is going well. And they were like, if you don't hear by Monday, I think we can just assume, like, it's happening. And I was like, okay. I went home to be with my family because we were on hiatus from work. So I was already planning to go see them. And Monday came around and I didn't hear anything. And I remember, like, saying to my dad, I was like, you see, Dad, this is why you don't get excited to you book, because, like, it can be taken away at any moment. And then Tuesday, I was hanging out with my 2 childhood best friends. Like, I started middle school theater with them, like, my whole life type of best friends, right? Tuesday, I'm hanging out with them, and I'm, like, on the verge of tears, like, ranting, but, like, really sad, just being like, you know, that's the toughest part. If you allow yourself to get excited and it doesn't happen, then you also have to allow yourself to feel the disappointment. So I'm, like, going through all these emotions, and they're like, you know what will make you feel better? Let's go to the cheesy, it's a good highlighter. This is the highlighter I just used. It's like a blush highlighter. Very pretty. Let's go to this one restaurant we used to go to when we were theater kids in high school, Glory Days. I don't know what I remember Glory Days being when I was younger, but let me tell you, Glory Days is not that anymore. That food, that was actually one of the worst experiences I've had in a restaurant ever. And like, we're all like, damn, like, this is supposed to make us feel better, and this is making us feel actively worse, like, blah, 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 blah. And then I get a call from my agents. And they're like, hey, girl, we only call like this double time when the news goes crazy. HBOMax just gave you a universal, yes, you're going to be a series regular on Gossip Girl. And that was August 2021. You know, it was contingent on us getting a season 2, naturally, and then getting the call being like, you've been picked up, your character's been picked up, all that stuff. But yeah, I knew basically for sure since August 2021, and then I couldn't announce it till November 2022, you guys. Y'all will never know, like, what it really means to hold, like, a secret. Like, that was genuinely painful. Having to hold that information in for as long as I held that information in was genuinely quite painful because I just wanted to scream it from the rooftops. And then it kind of got to a point where I almost felt like the people who did know thought I was capping. Like, you know what I mean? The people I told the year before, I know they were like, this girl done, you just made that up. No, because you made that up. Like, that's literally how it started to feel, where it's just like, damn, like, I can't tell nobody. But yeah, that's how this come up occurred. Like, it was insane because it really felt like it came from left field. But I'm so grateful to be here, and I'm grateful for this opportunity, and I'm grateful to like build a career. Like, you guys are truly watching somebody start from the bottom and go. So we'll see where I go next. I'm looking for the rest of the question, sorry. But we'll see where I go next. But so far, we've come out swinging a bit. My hobbies. This. Love me some makeup. Love me some makeup down. I think you guys can assume, because of what I just turned out, that I'm not new to the makeup thing. I think I started watching like makeup tutorial. Like, my mom sold Mary Kay, right? So I feel like I grew up around makeup at all times. But yeah, I love it. I love getting glam. I love skincare. I think the only thing I like more than makeup is skincare. And I only like foundations that I feel like you can still see the poppiness of the skin underneath, because of the fact that the only thing I like more than makeup is skincare. Let's unveil the wig. Boom! Considering I didn't put no foundation on my forehead, so you know it's a color match, because why I look like I just got bronze on my forehead. That's how you know it's a color match, baby. Let's do a little bit of a actual color match though. Anyways, reading, writing, like all the nerdy stuff. I love going to museums and like walking around. I love sitting in the library. I finally got my New York City library card. I just love all that stuff. Fave shows right now, fave shows ever. Okay, so let's start with fave shows ever, because I already have the 3 answers for you. Living Single, Psych, Phineas and Ferb. Anybody who knows me has sat and watched either Living Single, Psych, or Phineas and Ferb with me. It's non-negotiables. I adore those shows. I think like all the 3 of those shows have acted as like my source of peace at some point for random reasons. But yeah, lifelong Living Single, Psych, Phineas and Ferb. What's so funny is those 3 shows could not be more different if they tried, but I honestly feel like that's a big old reflection of me. Could not be my interests and the things I like and the things I get into could not be more different if I tried, to be honest. So it all makes sense. Dream show to work on in front or behind the stage. Somebody put me on Abbott Elementary, please. Linda! I would play an older sister. I would play somebody's mama, auntie, substitute, janitor, plumber. I don't care. I will, in fact, you ain't gotta put me on camera. I will set out your cast chairs with your little names on it. I don't care. I just need to be Abbott. The amount of joy that show brings into my life cannot be stated enough. Anytime Abbott Elementary is not airing, my life is significantly worse. You can ask my therapist. Abbott. The Bear would love to, that's another show I'm watching right now. Well, watched, but would love to be on or like behind the scenes and just seeing how it works, because that episode that they shot in one take, I love a quality long take. And I did a short film where we shot the whole thing. It was made of 6 scenes that were super long takes, like 5 minutes at a time. And it is tough. So yeah, that's definitely would love to be a part of that. Invincible, I love voice acting. And so it's always been my dream to voice act any role. So I'd love to be on Invincible or the new Phineas and Ferb, because I heard they coming back. Or Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. Does Penny need a new friend? You got it. I'm here. Let's go. Honestly, the way I am, I'll work anywhere. If the industry is involved, I'm there. Like, y'all need me to pass out water at the Golden Globes. Done. Done and done. Did I ever do a movie? See, question before. Yeah, I think because TV and all that stuff is part of my hobbies, it's what keeps me going on always. I think that's part of the reason why I'm like, yeah, movies, TV, radio plays. I don't care. I love storytelling and I love having any hand in it. I think it's very important that we continue to share as many stories with each other as we can. Do I like to read? Yeah. There was a point in my life where 7th grade, you know those reading competitions where it's like 20 books at a time? I just decided that I was like, what if I read 144? I think it was because I saw one in the library, which was like, I practically lived there. And I saw one and I remember thinking like, 20 books in 6 months, that's it? Like, insulting. Way to insult me. I'm gonna do my own challenge. I have to do 12 books every month and get to 144. And what, this is how you know like Insane in the Membrane was written about me. Because not only did I do that, then I proceeded to like, I was like, and I also have to journal about every day that I read. And I have to write down what pages I read. I have to write down the lessons. They all have to be from 12 different categories. So in order so that I didn't read 100 romantic comedies, which I will do, and I do that to this day. It was literally like, you got to read 12 historical, 12 classics, 12. That was the year I read Jane Eyre. I almost said Shark Boy and Lava. Moby Dick, not Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Jane Eyre, Moby Dick, Frankenstein, which is still my favorite classical book. Period. Love. Mary Shelley did what she needed to do. Persuasion. Like, I read all of those books in 7th grade because I read 144 books that year. And I honestly think I broke something in my brain because I've never read as much as I did that year, but I do love reading. I love it. Love it, love, 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 love. Advice for Black women. Yeah, my biggest advice for Black women coming up in the industry is kind of what I was saying in the beginning, but like really stay true to yourself and stay honest to yourself. Even if you feel the pressure to lie to anyone else, do not lie to yourself about how you feel about anything. Because the more you're honest with yourself, the more you'll find the strength to one day be as honest with others. And they got enough space for you. They got enough space for you. So don't feel like you don't belong. You are absolutely the main character in all things. Black women, we get so easily defined by others that like, define yourself in this industry and seek comfort in each other. My biggest thing that got me through this year was relying so heavily on the Black women around me on set. Like, you know, me and Whitney joke that we like save each other's lives, but I think it's not a joke, right? Like, to have that level of camaraderie and sisterhood the moment you walk on set every day, it's invaluable. Root for everybody, root for everyone. Not even just everybody Black, but root for everyone. Because I find the more you learn how to really root for other people, the more that energy does come back to you. And you are always the main character, right? Regardless of whatever your role says you are the main character in your own life. Do not make others more of a main character in your own life than you. Do not ever put anybody above you in order to feel worthy of anything. You're already worthy. You're the main girl in your life. So maintain that spot and hold on to it. And you will find holding on to it will help you build a confidence in every other arena in life. And seek advice from any Black woman in the industry above you in any capacity. I ask questions all the time. I ask them, what do they do for their hair? Do they wear wigs on set? Do they go natural? Like, I am constantly seeking advice and mentorship and Black women before me in any capacity, and that doesn't necessarily mean age, right? Like, I was doing that with Whitney and the girls younger than me, But I was constantly doing that because that is very, very, very important. Perfect timing for the last question because I'm also done with my face. But for the last question, said your favorite stylist. I mean, I feel like we all have the stylists that we look up to. Like, you know, the icons of the icons of the icons. But for me, right now, my favorite stylist is my stylist, 𝒉𝒂𝒂𝒌𝒇𝒂𝒔 Martinez, because he takes care of me like we're family. And there were many a times this year that I wasn't taken the care of in the way that I think I would have wanted, except when it came to Raz. So he is my favorite stylist and he's one of my favorite people. But in terms of people in the industry I look up to, I mean, Danessa Myricks, Pat McGrath, like, the reason I often, when I talk about heroes, they're always Black women because they're laying a blueprint that I can walk through, right? Like, that I can understand. They're speaking a language that resonates with me. Not to say, like, I don't look up to anybody else, because I do, but I always gravitate towards more like the Black pioneers or the Black legends in any capacity, because that is a pathway that I feel like I can follow behind. But yeah, those are all the questions, and perfect timing because I really did finish my face. This has been lovely chatting with you. You want to know more? Maybe I'll do this again. I don't know. Maybe if I'll do this again, maybe I'll do it like IG live or something. It's a lot of pressure knowing I have to go edit this. But yeah, I promise to my loyal 40, who this is very different from the normal content you get. This is the year I come back, and this is the year I come back with a little bit more consistency. So we're gonna do that. And I'm gonna finish my skincare empties series. It's so funny because I started that series in 2021 maybe. Like, it's been so long and now I'm finally finishing it. It's fine, we're fine. I'm gonna be consistent to my loyal 40. I love you all so much. To any Gigi fans who have stumbled upon this because they would like to know a little bit more about me, otherwise known as Shan Barnes on television. Hiya, nice to meet you. It's nice to have you here, and hopefully you'll stick around. I might do this again, but you know, I might just go back to what I normally have been doing in this channel for 3 years, and we'll just see what happens. But I'm very grateful to everyone, and I'm really excited where we're gonna go in life. Anyways, I have to go sit on my couch. Ta-ta for now, bye. Like, this all goes stupid. It goes stupid. Like.